If this video has reached the right person, you and I are fighting tooth and nail for our brains. Tech companies are doing everything they can to make you dull and useless to yourself. They don't want you to be the smart, creative person that you are, but instead they want you to be the type of dumb consumer who spends all day doom scrolling and asking ChatGPT what to eat. I developed this short and sweet sociology syllabus to keep you and me and our brains active, but still entertained. This syllabus includes not only books that you could find very easily and very cheaply, but also videos on YouTube that you could find for free. I became interested in sociology to answer a very specific question that I've been asking my entire life. Why do people do that? Especially in this day and age where people are seeming increasingly questionable. You can also see the faint direction in what they're thinking. I've become incredibly curious on why people behave the way that they do, especially online. The goals of this curriculum are to A, approach the way that others behave in a culture or a society with more understanding and empathy. The internet has made every day feel extremely emotionally involved, and I would rather get to a place where I could see people's interactions from their perspectives rather than my reactions. 2, I want to be a better person. I want to be a person who understands who I am, where I am, why I am, and be able to stop myself from making stupid decisions. I want to be more thoughtful about my actions. And 3, lastly, this came from the first class of game theory, which is a class on YouTube that we're going to talk about, taught by Professor Jiang, which we'll talk about. He said something that really stood out to me. He said, "You will have sovereignty over your destiny." As in, you'll be able to decide who you want to be and make conditions for your success because you know how people will work and you'll be able to give them that while also making sure you get what you want. What makes this different from a lot of personal curriculums that I've seen online is that 1, it has actual assignments. 2, you don't actually need to do the assignments. If you just read and watch what I've listed, feel more than free. Of course, none of this matters if you don't want to do it. But I think that information sticks a lot more when you're taking what you've learned and making it into something new. I also find essay writing really interesting, so I'm going to be writing essays about what I've learned and applying it to things like fashion and sociology. Why do people spend tens of thousands of dollars on a Birkin bag? Why are people shocked that other people are spending thousands of dollars on a Birkin bag? I also hope that by publishing videos about what I've learned, it'll hold me more accountable for participating on a regular basis. Now for materials, the first is Professor Jiang's game theory class on the Predictive History channel. So Professor Jiang is based in China, in Beijing, and he teaches classes and uploads them after every class, the recordings, and they're extremely interesting classes. I have been watching the Secret History class. That one is pretty well known, but it's also just really, really interesting. He has a lot of clip channels. Some of them are approved by him, but some of them are AI, so just watch out for those. I found a copy of Byung-Chul Han's Psychopolitics on audiobook offered from my library, so I'm going to be reading that. Cross my fingers that it has to relate to sociology. Yay! Okay. I also found a copy of Irving Goffman's The Performance Everyday Self. I've already gotten a good way through it. It's a pretty good book. I'm just gonna say. I was in such a reading rut, reading fiction, that nonfiction is such a great change from that, and I've really been enjoying it. This book is I talk about in my book club pick video, which I uploaded I think a week or 2 ago, and yeah, this is really insightful. It's considered to kind of be one of the most well referenced, like people reference to this book a lot when talking about sociology, apparently. So, and I kind of understand why. Because it goes in depth in many different areas of how people act. So go check out my book club video after this. Because I think you need a very general kind of introduction in order to study something, we're going to be watching Sociology 101 by Crash Course. They have a whole series on YouTube, very short, so I've already watched the first 2 episodes, and I think just binging them to get a very general sense of how sociology works will be best. As you can tell, I've already kind of started on this curriculum, but I wanted to show people how I do it because I thought it would be very helpful to have a community around it. As for assignments, I'm going to write either an essay or probably make a video essay. I'm not sure if I'm going to publish it on this channel, but we'll see. Every month about whatever topic I find interesting. And I want at least one 3,000 to 5,000 word essay in April. I really want to keep that research and like essay writing skill alive. What I want to do for my first essay is about the authenticity crisis. I think we talk about all the time, but whereas Goffman has been talking about how people need to have the perfect, like you're applauded for having very perfect performances, looking very clean cut, nothing out of place. I think that's changed a lot to the point where people actually want to see you mess up just a little bit to know that you're a real person. I think that authenticity matters so much more to people nowadays, and it's because online, where a lot of people are getting all their socialization, I think that's because online, where we're getting a lot of stimulation and people are taking their advice from others on the internet, you don't really know what's real or not. So, for example, my videos have been doing better when I put my face, or at least I put my body, or I put some evidence that there's a real person to this channel, because I don't think people are trusting faceless channels anymore. I think that people really want to see that there's a real person behind it, and someone who's A, able to take accountability for what they put online, but also B, know that they're not getting AI-generated slop. I think that nowadays, a flawless performance needs to be just a little bit tweaked. You need to be a little bit, for example, Heated Rivalry is doing their marketing in their press tour, and Hudson Williams is getting really applauded for not being media trained. And I don't think that people realize that there's absolutely press training. He's very well press trained, because the point of press training is not just to make a person prevent themselves from saying things that they shouldn't be saying or that they don't need to say, but it's also about making people likable. And I think in the ways that Hudson Williams is likable to a lot of people suits the show very well, and the audience that they're looking for. So I think that how we perceive performances now are entirely different, whereas people, they might know that you're not like that backstage. They might know that you're not as clean cut and perfect as you look on the outside all the time. Nowadays, people want that to be you. People want you to see just a little bit more of who you are when you're not trying to impress people, and when you're a little bit more authentic. But at the same time, I think we've become very used to expecting that of other people and expecting to know who people are when maybe that's not their job. Like the actors that you see online promoting their art are promoting their art. You don't need to like them as a person, and they shouldn't have to sort of give personal details in order to resonate with an audience. But I think they're being more expected to, because a lot of our celebrities now are people who were doing very real things and were just telling their life. Freudian slip, I'm sorry. People who were just telling their life, or shooting like home videos, which were kind of the source of YouTube today. People weren't really considering YouTube as a career. They were only considering it really as a means of getting attention. But I think then, and now currently as well, we understand that there's more to YouTube and Instagram and all these other social media platforms than just trying to be seen for who you are, or like entertaining others, I guess. But rather, it's all about performance and being cognizant of the fact that this person is showing you a face of themselves that they want you to see. Right? I think all the time people watch videos on the internet and think, why did you post this? Why? Who was filming? Who knew to film this? And then it really becomes apparent to you how that content isn't really, it's not real. Like, that's not just something that just happened. People were expecting to see it like that, and that's why it's being recorded. But people will keep on looking for an authentic performance, not realizing that the only way that you're going to get a truly authentic non-performance is if you go out and meet someone and you slip up. Like, anyone can edit anything online, anyone can crop things out, but the only way that you really connect with a person and you know that you're getting the real them and who they are when they're not performing is not by looking for realistic YouTubers or whoever, because they're not realistic. But you're looking for the kind of person who, in real life, can make mistakes and can show parts of you that they don't, parts of them that they don't want you to see. You have to actually go out of your house and be with people in real life, because that's the only way that you make real friendships. That's the only way that you be among real people, is if you're in real life. Versus social media, which sometimes you get that from like live streaming, but even then, a lot of live streamers they're more focused on creating scenarios that could be streamed, right? So you get like very surreal experiences where like Mafiathon was filled with moments where people were, like, oh my god, that just happened. It was planned to happen. And some of it is like very obviously just a performance. Others of it are, I think, not as identifiable to people. So let me know what you're doing if you're gonna do this personal curriculum with me. Let me know what kind of questions this inspires in you and what you want to kind of think about this semester. And go watch my book club video. Thank you. Bye-bye.